Reliability concerns about the Ford Ranger. Should you be worried? Welcome back to episode 2. The previous episode, we looked at the Ford Everest and its reliability and how it has stacked up over the 6 months since it has been released. That thing is still going pretty damn strong. And today we're going to do the same thing, this time for the Ranger. But in this episode, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the Ford Ranger itself. We're going to have a look at its previous engines and what the biggest issues for those were. And we're going to talk about 1, what are the reliability issues for this, if any, and 2, what have been my experiences spending over 2 months driving the Ford Ranger, Everest, and Raptor over the last 6 months. Now, the obligatory Ford has no idea that I'm making these videos. I'm just sick of the misinformation that seems to be spreading around this car and the fear-mongering in the media. It's been doing my head in. So I wanted to take an objective look at the Ford Ranger, Everest, and Raptor to see really what are the issues, what are the real world issues that people have been having. I might be copping a bit of flack from the OEMs for this though, so if you do like this video, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and like the video. Really helps the channel out. And comment down below if you've had any issues or none. If you love your Ranger, let us know. As always, I want to thank our channel sponsor, Driver. They're a fintech finance comparison site. They will get you the absolute best financing deals pre-approved in under 2 minutes with zero impact to your credit score. By the way, every settled loan through us gets a $150 fuel card. That's awesome. So, Jacob, let's get into it. Okay, let's start with some of the issues that the Ford Ranger has had this new generation. Really, it's been one major-ish issue, which is that at higher speeds, this thing would actually start to vibrate. Now, when I went to the launch of the Ford Ranger, I didn't actually experience that myself. And only about 1,000 of the 26,000 or so that have been ever delivered have actually been recalled for that issue. Ford say that it was an issue with the supplier who created the tail shaft for the Ranger, and that issue has since been recalled and rectified. So that's a good thing. Ford do have a little bit of a reputation for combating against warranty claims. Here in Australia, they were fined $10 million by the ACCC, but having spoken to the team now and having seen their responses to that ACCC fine, I think that they are doing a lot better than they have been in the past. And after a news report surfaced that 9 people out of 26,000 have had to have their Rangers replaced, mind-blowing, Jacob.
Insane figures right there.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good hit rate. What did you say the percentage was off the top of your head?
It's like 0.03 or something.
Okay, well, come on. Anyway, now that's terrible if you're one of those people that have been affected, but an error rate that low is pretty acceptable when you're manufacturing an all-new product, less something as complicated as this. That doesn't mean it's still free from errors, and we'll talk about some more on the inside. So what about the issues in the past that have kind of left a bit of a stain on the reputation of the Ranger? The 2-litre single turbo and bi-turbo variants both had issues with their fuel injectors. Again, it was a poor quality supplier that just gave a bad part. And so they had to be recalled. They stopped orders for a while, but that issue was resolved. There was also a 3.2-litre 5-cylinder that you could get, a relatively durable engine from the Puma family of engines. Came out in about 2006. And really for that one, it was the fuel pump that seemed to go a bit more often than not. But generally speaking, those engines have been very, very reliable. And no car, especially if it's got an internal combustion engine, is free from issues. So now with the new 2-litre bi-turbo, Ford says that they've replaced a lot of the componentry on the inside and have made that thing a lot more reliable. This is a new engine, the V6, the 3-litre. It's an amazing engine, as we'll show you soon. And these things have also proven so far to be quite reliable, though time will tell. It's a brand new engine. The other issue that these seem to have had in the past was that the 10-speed auto, which this thing also has, were quite clunky and cumbersome. But Ford did change the torque converter. They listened to feedback clearly because this thing drives so much better. Jacob, what better way to test that than by launching it? Now, Jacob, the best way to test reliability, everyone knows, is to launch a car from 0 to 100 and see just how quick it is. And if you're wondering why Jacob is currently holding a boom mic, that is our backup mic. I may or may not have left the mics at home.
Say no more.
So instead, Jacob has his headphones in, which he usually has in anyway, sensory overload issues.
I'm dialed in.
And we are going to launch the thing. Shall we do it?
Let's do it. I've taken so much Ritalin.
All right, friend, ready? We're going to launch it. Fist me.
Okay.
Oh, mamma mia. By the way, we've launched in 4-wheel drive, of course, as you should.
Oh, that's better than the Everest.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, only I was at the Everest.
I still remember the time better than you, it seems. It was 8.57 seconds.
This one's 8.41. Alrighty, let's talk about the interior. What have the reliability issues been like in here? And what are my experiences with reliability driving these things for 2 months since launch? Let's start with what hasn't worked for me in the past. Actually, ranges have been generally fine for me. The issue I've had is with the Everest. The last Everest I literally had in episode 1 had a parking brake malfunction. I don't really blame that car though, because journalists suck and they smash these things off-road, man, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I literally had a car cancelled on me today.
I know. It's gonna be my car.
There you go. So it happens all the time because journalists just suck. They crash cars all the time. If you're a journalist, love you. See you at the next event. Another issue I've had is this drive mode controller down here, which by the way, even in this car, sometimes gets stuck. Stuck right now. You just have to give it a little push back. Look, quality there could be a little bit better there, Ford, but generally speaking, they've worked fine, except for the first Ford Everest I had, where this whole control just didn't work. So I couldn't put it in four-wheel drive, and we almost got stuck. Other than those two things, which to be fair would be completely covered by warranty, the issue I've had across all of these cars is this infotainment display, because like it wows you, and it does actually work pretty well. I feel like they've updated this one, you know? This one just seems to be really snappy. But I've had them in the past where Apple CarPlay, for example, just has like these micro stutters. It will disconnect, happened in the Ford Everest last week, but I found a workaround, Jacob.
Android Auto.
Potentially, I haven't tried that. If you keep it plugged in, guys, it works all the time, and that just has made me a lot happier. The music doesn't cut out, screen doesn't freeze, it works well. So other than that, it's totally fine. Up in front of me is the digital instrument cluster. That has frozen on me previously, but it hasn't happened this year. So, you know, maybe it was an early model thing, but it's been totally fine for me. And again, none of this stops you from driving the car. That's the important part. It's not like you know, you're gonna die. It's just, it's kind of annoying. Tech works in here about 99% of the time. It's that 1% that's like, goddamn. The biggest issue actually with that is that you can't just go to your local mechanic or auto electrician. You have to take it back to the dealer. If you have something wrong with your technology, that's not a mechanical thing that anyone can just fix. So that is an annoying thing. That's something you should keep in mind. But, is it really that big of a deal? Or is it blown out of proportion? Otherwise, it is still my favorite Ute interior to be in. I love how connected and technology focused it is. The autonomous safety features enable this thing to drive itself down a highway, which is exactly what I want. Stop-start traffic is a breeze. It feels super refined in here. It's nice and quiet on the roads. It's really well equipped. You would kind of hope so at this price point, but you know, storage galore. Check all that out. Build quality is better than the previous Ranger by quite some margin. I like it in here. Also, back seats too. You get plenty of space. Even me at 5'11", usually I would struggle in the back because I've got weirdly long legs. Perfect. It's actually really, really good. And the seat quality is fantastic. I love it in here. So yes, I've had some reliability issues. It's all just been a bit tech focused. All of those things can be pretty easily fixed. Moral of the story, let's drive this thing. Alrighty, friend, driving the Ford bloody Ranger.
The bloody Ford Ranger.
The Ford bloody Ford Ranger.
The Ranger bloody Ford.
Look, can I tell you something?
Please do.
I ain't scared about this car's reliability.
Me neither.
I'm not fearful, not one bit. Currently sitting at 100 kilometers an hour. Do you feel any tail shaft vibrations?
Not really.
No, because they fixed it. So
that was a trick question.
It was a rhetorical question, okay? But thank you for humoring me anyway. I will say though, the worst thing about the Ranger Ute, and you don't feel this in the Everest, and you don't feel this in a lot of other Utes, it does start to get a little bit jittery above, I would say, 80 kilometers an hour. It does have leaf spring suspension, which is a really old type of suspension, but every single Ute has it because it enables it to carry more weight. But if you don't have weight in the back, sometimes the Utes can become jittery, but this is kind of like, I don't know, I found this to be one of the more jittery Utes out there.
That's true. It's probably because it's a bit heavier than the average Ute.
It is. It weighs a lot, about 2.3 tons. Ooh.
You can feel it around there.
But I wholeheartedly put my hand on my heart and my test. This thing is just my favorite.
it's your favourite.
It's my favourite. I think that now with the Amarok out, this still does, I want to say it does it better for the same price. But we'll have to find out. Make sure you're subscribed because we're going to be doing a full comparison between the two.
Eventually.
Let's put our foot down. What a juicy V6. It just pulls. It doesn't stop pulling. You put your foot down, it's just like confidently building power. It's not going to like break your neck with its speed, but it just seems to be tuned for, you know, pulling. Let's see how it goes around these corners though. There aren't any cooler driving modes I can put the car into, except for Eco, but that's not really cool. I'd say that's about as opposite of cool as we can get.
I will say, I was hearing a bit of creaking around that corner.
Yeah, you're not going to get the same kind of driving dynamics as you will out of the Everest, which has a different suspension setup. But let's put the car into 4 Auto, because I think that will actually help us gain a bit of traction. Because one of the things that this thing has is it has a permanent all-wheel drive system. It's not on it by default because it does use up more petrol, but when you are turning around a corner, it gives you more grip, or it gives you better grip when it's wet, or if you're off-road you can keep it in 4A and it will keep you in 4 high essentially. It's actually a really trick system.
I like it.
I like it. Shall we go up Saucy Corner, friend?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see how this goes. The Everest that we tested last week or 2 ago did pretty well. Let's see how this goes.
You tested, friend.
Tickle my little pickle.
Oh!
Jeez, that pulling power.
Oh, yeah.
10-speed auto. They did change the torque converter in this again to make it more reliable and better. And you can really tell. Let's see how it goes up the first little corner. Oh my goshly gosh. Surprisingly damn good. Surprisingly damn good.
Oh. They always struggle up that second one.
Always. But you know what? Of all the utes we've tested, that has by far gone up there the best.
Yeah. Definitely.
Without a doubt. Okay, so Ford Ranger, is it unreliable? No. Come on, guys. Stop like buying into those silly little headlines. Clickbait sucks. It really sucks. They're fine. They're doing pretty well. Time will tell, but they're doing pretty well so far. Jake, what do you think?
I think it's a great car.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's going to be sensationalism around it, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I think being at the top of the class at the moment, you know, people are going to try and pull it down. I don't think so. I think it's pretty awesome.
I think people just know that people are going to click on any article with Ford Ranger in it.
That's true. Just like you clicked on this video. But let us know what you guys think down in the comment section. Just below that like button. Share this video with a friend if they need to see the truth. Subscribe to the channel as well. We would love to have you around. You can click over there to watch episode 1, the Everest, and click over there to watch our full Ford Ranger review, just a bit more in depth about all those different little parts. And then over there is car financing. We can get you the absolute best financing deals. Jacob, ciao for now.
Bye-bye.